Hello everyone, Dominic here from Esports News UK. I'm joined by a very special guest today, hashtag Tom, aka Tom Lees, from the world of FIFA Esports. He's one of the Elions and is going to be taking part in the Elions Eliminator tournament this week. How are you doing, Tom? Thank you for joining me.
Pleasure to be here, Tom. Dom, sorry.
Tom and Dom. Look, one of my best friends from uni is a Tom, so it's all good.
Pleasure to be here. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. So, you're obviously taking part in this Eliminator this week. It's yourself and Tex that are the current E-Lions, and this team is going to be going up to 4, but you need to play against a group, I think it's 16 players altogether, right, this week, to retain your spot along with Tex. So what are your thoughts going into the tournament, Tom?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Obviously, playing for England is a massive deal. The last time I got the opportunity in a tournament like this, I managed to take it. So I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, the other pros around England, very, very good players. England's got a very good FIFA esports base at the minute. So I know it's going to be tough challenges, but I'm looking forward to playing it. England's obviously a massive, massive part of the year, massive to represent my country. So I'm hoping that I can step up again and retain my spot as an E-Lion.
Yeah, do you know, I was going to talk about that, Tom, because esports and, namely FIFA esports has really risen in recent years. And people like yourself have been there since the start to see that transformation. What has it been like going from playing FIFA when you were younger to where you are now, and FIFA crossing over into sports and, the actual football players? Does it feel a bit... Do you have to pinch yourself sometimes, or...
Yeah, 100%, because even I'm talking about like FIFA 15 or 16, I didn't even realize there was really an industry like this, that you could even get into professional FIFA. And then when I got into it, it was starting to grow, it was starting to explode. But the growth I've seen in the last 5 years has been absolutely crazy. Obviously, the amount of opportunities I've gained from it. I mean, even when we talk about England, like if you said to me that I got to film with Sterling, Trent, Declan Rice, people like that, it's absolutely mind-blowing to me. So yeah, I do have to pinch myself a lot. It's a pretty crazy experience, and I'm loving the growth. Hopefully it can continue.
Yeah, fingers crossed. And I have to ask, on the footballer front, who's the best sort of player you've come up against so far in terms of their FIFA skills?
I think I didn't actually get to play him. I managed to watch a game of Phil Foden, and I think Phil Foden is probably the best FIFA player that I've seen play. I'd actually like to play him because he's very good at the game.
Nice, okay. And as I've said, you and Tex are the two current E-Lions. What's your predictions for the Final Four? Or are there another couple of players you'd like to see join you and Tex?
Yeah, there's a lot of good players in there, really. Obviously, I know all the UK boys very well, talk to them all the time. I think player in my side of the bracket, if I'm right, Shell's very good, plays for Man City. He's got a lot of experience. He's been around a long time. On the Xbox side, I've got my hashtag teammate, Shuri, who's also playing in it. So I think they're two players that I'd look out for. Hopefully can be part of the squad. But yeah, I think every single UK player that's in the tournament, they're all very, very good, and they all offer a different sort of challenge. And it's going to be tough. Whoever gets there will definitely deserve their spot.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned your teammate Alex Shaw there, and I've just watched the hashtag United have a documentary on YouTube, right? That's just gone live, and I saw episode 2, which was an insight into the team and the FIFA esports side of things. What's that been like, being part of hashtag United?
Yeah, being part of hashtag is a dream. Obviously, Spencer is a very smart man. He's a very smart man. He knows everything about the scene. He's very knowledgeable. He's been a great manager as well, really. Ever since I've come to the club, there's been so many staff that have made me feel like a part of the family, really. I didn't expect to be so welcomed in and so hands-on with everyone and so like around it as a team, but I really enjoy it, and hopefully it can continue for a long time, because Spencer, ever since he's got into FIFA esports, he was one sort of pioneer in it in the early days when he got Harry involved about 4 or 5 years ago now. So Spencer's always, and I can see with Spencer as well, there's a lot of passion behind what he does. He's really invested in it. He's really involved. And I think that rubs off on the whole team, the way we all act and the way we all treat it. We're all very passionate and we all work very, very hard. So yeah, I think that comes from the top of the chain and all the way down to us. It's all one big family, really.
Yeah, and what's hashtag's thoughts on the E-Lions? Because obviously you're representing England, but I guess on the broadcast, people still will mention you as a hashtag player.
Yeah, sort of just like club and country, really. It's sort of the same as footballers are, the same footballers they meet up there for the England squad. Obviously,
Yeah.
in the day-to-day sort of thing, a lot of it is playing for hashtag, but then every now and then there's tournaments that come up for England, the E-Nations Cup, things like that. And yeah, I think that's the main part. There's no real conflict there as such. It's just club for hashtag whenever I'm playing, country for England. Hashtag are fully behind it. They love the fact that I'm part of the England setup. They're really behind it, always supportive. So yeah, it's actually a great mix, really.
I think the hashtag atmosphere, the impression I get is obviously, you guys are all professional and this is your career in esports, but there seems to be a good camaraderie and a good atmosphere at hashtag. Like on the recent documentary, Alex was pulling off a Roy Hodgson impression and things like that. It seems quite relaxed. Does that change a bit when you go to Elions, or is it still, Tex just becomes another teammate kind of thing?
Yeah, to me, Tex just becomes another teammate. England always put us first. They always say whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you do to make yourself comfortable, you do that. We're fully behind you. So yeah, I think that's a great thing of the both things I've got with hashtag and what I've got with England is they always put the player first, and they're always trying to make the player feel at complete ease when playing. And I think that rubs off when you're playing as well. When you're playing in these big tournaments and you feel comfortable and you don't feel under too much pressure, it definitely makes you play better.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is an interesting point I find here, Tom. When the Elions Eliminator was announced last year, I was interested to read comments from Shauna Games in the press release saying she'd like to see more women gamers involved in esports and in FIFA tournaments like this. Now, I know from as someone that works closely within esports, you often get people from the outside looking in saying, why aren't there women players and things like that? And I try to explain to them that, well, often behind the scenes you'll have a lot of, women commentators or hosts or production staff, marketing and so on. But we don't have as many women players at the top level for some reason. So do you sort of, given the fact that women's football has grown so much in recent years, do you think things might change on the esports side of things, or will it take a little while yet?
I think I can see it 100% growing and women esports becoming much more bigger, because I think the FIFA esport itself is very young, right? We've only been doing this 4 or 5 years with EA being involved. So I think over time, there's definitely no reason, because it's a level playing field as such. You don't have any requirements to be a FIFA player. You just have to be very good at the game. So I think that's a great part of it. It's accessible to everyone. And yeah, I think in the future, it can definitely grow. I think the esport needs to grow first. The whole esport needs to keep growing and growing. And you'll definitely see more and more interest from players from all around the world, really. And
I think because clubs are involved now, you've got E-Premier League and other initiatives, a lot of those clubs have women's teams. It might be that the push comes from them as well in the future, for women's teams.
Yeah, exactly. There's the more opportunities that come through with the E-Premier League and E-Nations, and the more clubs that get involved, the more opportunities there will be for women to get involved as well. So yeah, 100% agree with you on that.
Okay, cool. And just last couple of points here, Tom. You had a great last year. Speaking of the E-Premier League, you won that. What are your hopes and aims for this year? What are your sort of targets going forwards?
I think the main answer I always give, whenever I try and set goals, is just to win everything I possibly can. I think I try and not prioritise one tournament over another. I think I have to treat every single one the same, going with that same mindset that whatever you're playing in, you're giving your 100%, you're trying to win it. So really, I think it's just to enjoy myself as much as possible and to try and win everything that I play in. I wouldn't say there's one aim that I see as bigger or any different. Just every tournament, same mentality, and try and win everyone.
Yeah, this isn't on my list here, Tom, but it's just popped into my head. I should ask it, really. The UK produces a lot of strong FIFA talent. I think compared to other games that I follow, like League of Legends and other bits like Overwatch, we don't have loads of top players, but the UK, we seem to produce a lot. Now, whether that's to do with football is so ingrained into our culture or not, what are your thoughts on UK talent in FIFA?
I think you've hit the nail on the head there. I think football is such a big part of culture for everyone in England, and it's only natural that in the end people will play the football simulator that is FIFA after that. And I think people find their way through there. It's just part of culture for England. Everyone that I know, everyone I speak to, we all love football, and FIFA's so linked with that. If you're not watching football, you're not playing football, you can go and play FIFA instead as a simulator to get yourself involved. And obviously having that competition as well helps people come in. But yeah, the UK is, I would argue, potentially one of the best countries in the world in terms of talent for FIFA players. And I can only see that growing, really. I see more and more people getting involved. There's more young talent coming through. So yeah, I think it's mainly because everyone loves football, so everyone plays FIFA.
Yeah, I agree. Are there any names that have caught your eye, Tom, in over the past year or so? Any up and coming FIFA players to watch out for?
Yeah, 100%. I see a player playing for Footwiz, Team Footwiz at the minute, Nick Sneb, looking very good. And also Stingray, who's playing in this tournament this week, he plays for Serious About FIFA. He's only 17, only just coming through. So I think talent like that will continue to come out everywhere, really, every year. The way that the esport is growing, the second people get involved at 16, they can play. So I think we'll see that every year, more and more people getting involved and more young talent, really.
It's interesting you mentioned that because I know Serious About FIFA launched some kind of academy recently. I wrote a story on it. They sent me a press release. So it's good to see the grassroots levels getting more support now. You know, we've got more tournament. That bodes well for the future, doesn't it, I guess, for UK FIFA?
Yeah, exactly. It can only really benefit the esport as a whole. It can only help grow more and more. So I'm all behind it, really. The more players that get involved, more players that are playing, then it can only be healthy for the esport.
Yeah, absolutely. Tom, absolute pleasure talking to you. Best of luck in the Elions Eliminator. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Any shout-outs or anything else?
No shout-outs from me. Just loving life here. Just loving life. Loving being part of hashtag. Love being part of England. So, yeah, thank you for having me on. I appreciate that.
Anytime. Thanks again, Tom, and best of luck in the tournament.
Thank you, mate. Catch you soon.